Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. My name is Tomiwa Tuble and I'm the lead mentor at Data Starter NG. Before we get into today's class, I just want to give a short backstory on who I am and how I got here. So, I am a first class graduate of Criminology and Security Studies from Chrisland University, Abeokuta. During my undergrad, I specialized in a few courses, including social psychology and policy analysis, which afforded me a peek into understanding human behavior, specifically why people do what they do. Post graduation, I consolidated this skill by learning data analysis through programs like a 3 month data storytelling in Python course at Hamoye, as well as a 12-week data bootcamp at Resa Gratia. And these programs were impactful in shaping me to become the data analyst I am today. And in that same vein, I hope this program goes a way in helping you become an even better person as well as professional. Now, today's class is on SWOT analysis. Some of you might be familiar with this topic. There are four quadrants: the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Let's get into it. Our table of content outlines how we are going to go about today's class. First, we are going to talk on the objectives before moving on to defining the SWOT analysis, then explaining the importance, benefits, and strategic value, understanding how to go about executing it step by step, understanding how to move from analysis to action, then concluding and outlining a few next steps. Our objectives for today's class are first to define, master the four quadrants of the SWOT framework. Next is to validate, articulate the strategic importance of SWOT in data-driven decision making. Third is to execute, apply the step-by-step process to transition from raw analysis to actionable strategy. So let's ask ourselves, what exactly is SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is a technique for assessing the performance, risk, competition, and potential of a business. Think of it as a realistic, fact-based data-driven review of an organization. It is also an approach that turns decision-making from intuition, experience, and gut feelings to a rigorous data-driven framework. It evaluates four critical areas or dimensions of business health, which are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and it helps you to gain clarity on where your business stands and where you can go. Now, the only thing constant in life is change. And if you are able to take stock of your weaknesses, strengths, opportunities, and threats, you are more likely to plan and act effectively. This is how the SWOT analysis is plotted on a graph. We have the helpful left, harmful right, internal top, external bottom. Strengths are your top left. You think what makes us the MVP. Weaknesses are your top right. You ask questions like what is holding us back. Opportunities, bottom left, you ask what could we do next. Then threats, bottom right, asking things like what could go wrong. Now feel free to move ahead because we are going to share this template in Excel. So you can go ahead and use this in preparing your answers for the OLIS dataset as well as personal and professional use. Next, we are going to discuss the strategic value or importance and benefits of SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis is not just about listing your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but rather it is about curating a narrative that moves the needle, that not only informs but also influences strategic decision making. So, a SWOT analysis is used to strategically identify areas of improvement or competitive advantages for a company. In addition to analyzing things that a company does well, a SWOT analysis also takes a look at more detrimental, negative elements of a business. Using this information, a company can make smarter decisions to preserve what it does well, capitalize on its opportunities, mitigate risks, and plan for events that may adversely affect the company in the future. Some of the impacts of Some of the impacts of SWOT analysis include turning weaknesses into areas of improvement. Once you are able to identify a place where you are lacking, you'll be able to take steps towards improving it. Next is pivot towards high growth opportunities. Growth is not a destination, but rather a cycle. Once you treat every interaction as a data point, for example, every no as a data point and every yes as a benchmark, you are able to remain agile enough to pivot however the economy or market shifts. Third is to build defenses against external threats. And fourth is to guide long term strategic planning with precision. Now we are going to understand how to go about executing SWOT analysis step by step. First is to identify the strengths. These are internal and positive. They are internal factors you can control or own, characteristics that give you advantages above others. You can ask questions here like, what does our company do well? What unique resources can we draw on? What do others see as our strengths? Examples here are robust human capital, operational excellence, strategic assets, and brand loyalty, among others. Using Tesla as our case study, their strength is a strong position in the electric vehicle market because of its strong brand recognition as an industry pioneer. The company's advanced battery technology allows for superior range in its vehicles. Next is the weaknesses, top right of the quadrant, if you remember correctly. These are internal and negative. They are factors that do not meet our required standard and that give us a disadvantage when compared to others. Here we ask questions like, what could we improve? Where do we have fewer resources than others? And what are others likely to see as our weaknesses? Examples here include undertrained staff, limited financial resources, low brand visibility, and narrow product line, among others. Again, using Tesla as a case study, it has struggled with production capacity limitations, often failing to meet demand and delivery targets. In addition, quality control issues are also a recurring problem from time to time. And finally, its vehicles are generally priced higher than its competitors. Moving on to the opportunities, these are external and positive. Here you ask questions like, what good opportunities are open to us? What trends can we take advantage of? And how can we turn our strengths into opportunities? You have examples here including rapid market growth, new use for products, economic boom, and changing customer needs or tastes, among others. Tesla can benefit from the growing demand globally for EVs, electric vehicles. The company can leverage its battery expertise to expand beyond automotive and into related fields like energy storage as well as solar power. Finally, we have the threats. These are external and negative. They are factors beyond our control which could harm us. They appear when conditions in the environment endanger the consistency and profitability of our business. Examples here are entry of foreign competitors, introduction of new substitute products, economic downturn, and increased government regulation, among others. Here you ask questions like, what trends could harm us? What is our competition doing? And what threats do our weaknesses expose us to? Tesla's competitive landscape is intensifying as traditional automakers and new entrants invest heavily in electric vehicle technology. This increased competition could erode Tesla's market share and profit margins. Now, it is not enough to have the SWOT analysis by itself, that is, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Instead, we have to apply the TOWS matrix to turn that from an analysis into an action plan. As previously mentioned, we do not just want to inform stakeholders or management, we want to also influence their decision making. Here, we've prepared a table that has three columns outlining the strategy type, logic, and the action. The first is the SO. This is the strength opportunity. You have to use your internal strength to exploit external opportunities. That is the maxi maxi. Think of this as attack, using your best assets to win big. Next is WO, weakness opportunity, mini-maxing. You overcome your weaknesses by exploiting your opportunities. Here you pivot. You fix internal gaps to catch a trend. Third is XT, maxing meaning, strengths and threats. Use your strengths to avoid your threats. Here you defend. Use your power to shield against risks. And finally, we have WT, which is weaknesses, threats. Minimize weaknesses and avoid threats. Here, your game plan is to survive, damage control, and risk mitigation. In conclusion, we have to make sure a SWOT analysis drives strategic value rather than just listing out data. And to avoid this, we need to avoid some common pitfalls or critical errors, some of which include first, subjectivity bias, failing to remain objective or honest about weaknesses and threats. Now, we are human beings and we might not want to accept things for the way they are. This also extends onto the SWOT analysis. Some stakeholders, some owners might prefer not to face reality, but rather keep on listening to the lies they would prefer. We need to make sure we remain objective enough to avoid falling into this pitfall so as to ensure the business grows as intended. Second is isolated analysis. This has to do with developing the framework without input from diverse stakeholders, leading to a narrow perspective. It is very important to engage stakeholders. This is ranging from internal to external, your management team, sales team, in fact, external stakeholders, including your customers. So you need to have as much a wide range of perspective because there is no love lost when you are acquiring knowledge. And third is lack of prioritization. This is treating all factors as equal, failing to distinguish between high impact deal breakers and minor details. It is important to have your priorities set. The same way in economics, there is a scale of preference. You have to sort of borrow that same concept here in understanding what requires the most important urgency and attention as required. Now, the bottom line is a SWOT analysis is a great way to guide business strategy meetings. A company can use a SWOT analysis for overall business strategy sessions or a specific segment like marketing, production, or sales. This way, you can see how the overall strategy developed from the SWOT analysis will filter down to segments below before committing to it. You can also work in reverse with a segment specific SWOT analysis that feeds into the overall SWOT analysis. Now, I hope you've been able to pick up a few things from this lecture, and I hope you are able to apply this concept to the OLIS database and also your personal and professional life. I remain Tomiwa Atoble, the lead mentor at Data Starter NG. My number is on the screen as well as my email. So please feel free to reach out if you're having any difficulties or you have any questions that require clarity. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe.